of Canada has cut interest rates by 25 basis points. This marks their third consecutive cut in a row. Let's take a quick look at Bank of Canada's reasoning on why they decided to cut rates at their latest interest rate announcement on September 4th, 2024. It was widely anticipated across the board that the Bank of Canada would cut rates at this announcement. Some even predicted they would cut rates by 50 basis points. So after the 25-point cut, we now sit at 4.25% as the overnight rate, with more rate cuts to potentially come in the future. The reason more rate cuts are to come in the future is inflation is under control. Inflation came in at 2.5% in July, which I did a previous video on, and a big bulk of this is shelter costs. So with shelter costs stripped out of this basket of goods, inflation is well under control, being under 2% when you strip out the shelter costs, which is directly correlated to higher rates. So now with inflation under control, economists are shifting their focus to the weak labor market. Based on the latest data from StatsCan, it shows a 0.3% decline in reported payrolls, or approximately 50,000 jobs. And we've had 5 straight months with rising unemployment. So based on this, we could see the tides potentially turn quicker than we thought, from the economy going from inflation control mode into more of a stimulus mode, boosting jobs and business. So how does this impact the real estate market? Based on today's sentiment and today's predictions, we're to see further rate cuts come in 2024, in October and likely in December, potentially bringing the overnight rate to below 4% by the end of 2024, with more cuts to come in 2025, if we're following the same trend with the data that we are now. Now, obviously, it's all going to be dependent on what comes out in inflation, what comes out in job numbers, what comes out in the economy, but that's what today's predictions are by economists and market professionals. This is going to bring first-time buyers off the sidelines, could bring more investors off the sidelines, residential and commercial, just because the cost of borrowing is going to be lower. First-time buyers can qualify for higher mortgage amounts. Investors may make sense of those real estate investments on the commercial and residential side because of the lower cost of borrowing. With all that being said, real estate is so local and very dependent on inventory levels and supply and demand. So as we see buyers come back to the market with lower rates, we're also going to see a flood of sellers coming to the market now thinking, okay, rates are lower, now it's a good time to list my home. So those may counteract each other, and if we're keeping the same inventory levels, if we're keeping supply and demand in check, the market could potentially not change that much, because you're going to see an equal amount of sellers come to the market as you do buyers re-enter the market. Only time and further data will show us the trajectory of rates rounding out 2024 and into 2025. But from today's sentiment and predictions, it looks like we could be on the way down quicker than some people expected. Thank you guys for watching today's quick video on September 4th rate announcement, and stay tuned next week for market stats.